Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the July meeting of the Fairfax County Economic Development Authority Commission. I am Andrew Tahazadeh, Assistant Director of Marketing Communications at the EDA, and I am your moderator for this meeting, which means I will have control over the audio functions of this call, and I will control the slides that will be used during the meeting. At this time, I would like to ask all those on this call to mute your device if you are not presenting. Now, I would like to welcome members of the commission to the meeting. Chair Kathy Lang, Vice Chair James Quigley, Secretary Ron Johnson, Treasurer Stephen Partridge, and members Lenny Hainsworth, Rocky Mitchell, Pallavi Sabu, Joe Vitalige, and Rick Wagner. FCEDA President and CEO Victor Hoskins and Executive Vice President Alex Imes are on the call, as are EDA Counsel Mike Graff, several EDA staff members, consultants who represent the EDA in offices overseas and California, along with our marketing communications consultants. I would also like to welcome Fairfax County officials who have joined us for the meeting. Presenting from the FCEDA tonight will be Chair Lang, President and CEO Victor Hoskins, Vice President of Talent Michael Batt, and Vice President of Marketing Communications Anna Nissanen. This meeting is being recorded. Members of the FCEDA Commission who have questions will have the opportunity to ask questions as they normally would during meetings. If anyone from the public has any questions, please select the chat function at the bottom of the Zoom screen to ask a question or email Cheryl Martelli of the FCEDA. Cheryl's email address can be located in the chat box. We will not answer questions from the public during the meeting, but we will respond to all questions in writing afterward. So with that, I'll ask Chair Lang to begin the agenda. Chair Lang.
Thank you very much, Andrew, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to our July meeting. We have a brief meeting planned tonight. And with that, I am going to get started right out of the gate and ask for approval of the minutes of our June meeting. May I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion.
Okay.
Sorry. Now I'll second it, Mr. Vice Chair.
Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, I don't see Mike Graff on the phone. Mike, are you here? Okay, so what I will do is I will call the question and do the roll call. So with that, Commissioner Quigley.
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson.
Aye.
Commissioner Partridge.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell, are you here? Okay. And Commissioner Vitalige.
Aye.
And Commissioner Lang. Aye. Okay. Oops, Mike, I stole your thunder.
Well, you did a better job than I do, Kathy. So I'll give you a discount this month.
Okay. So with that, the minutes are approved. And so with that, I would like to turn it over to our treasurer, Commissioner Partridge.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good news that the staff reported that the budget is fully expended. So that is always great news. You never want to return a lot of money when you have it. But Victor did walk down and return $4.44 in pennies to the county that was unutilized. So we're now entering a new budget year. So you'll see more about that probably at next month's budget and get a little update at that point.
Very good. Any questions? Okay, great. Thank you very much. And so we are going to move right into my report. And a couple of things. In our August meeting, we are going to be talking about the metrics and achievements for this last fiscal year. That will be in a closed session, as well as discussion about the metrics for the upcoming year. Certainly a discussion about that and planning for those metrics. So it's important that everybody attends. It's a really important part of what we do and how we focus our resources and implement our strategies. So that's going to be on the August agenda. Secondly, I'm very happy to announce that Cheryl has done some work for us to find a new digital board management portal. I had used one called Live Binders, and I asked her and the team to look and see what else might make sense for us. So they've selected something called Onboard Platform, and all future board and committee meetings will be scheduled via this digital platform. It will serve as a repository for meeting materials, all documents, and board member contact management, and many other things. So I'm very excited about this. This will help all of us have the documents we need and the history, really in an electronic form. And I think it will help all of us as we lead this organization. Third thing is, I'm not sure, but I have heard rumors that we may meet in person in the fall. So just be thinking about that in terms of how you schedule that time. It will be up to Chairman McKay how that unfolds, but it could happen as soon as September. And then again, maybe not. It really depends, as you know, on what's going on. So let's just be aware that that's a very high, I'm not even going to say probability, I'm going to say possibility. And lastly, I asked Victor and the team to take a look at the speakers that we've had over the last, actually now almost 3 years, right? And I sent that list out to you. I also sent a note out asking for you to take a look at the speakers we've had. I think you would all agree they have been fabulous speakers, people that have represented various industries, various perspectives, education, nonprofits, tech companies, entrepreneurial tech companies, real estate, executive search. We've really covered the gamut. Now our challenge moving forward is to find speakers of equal or greater impact that we can invite to talk to the commission. So I'm going to open up the floor for a minute. I would say Commissioner Partridge threw in a couple of names that I thought were very interesting, but so Steve, if you'd like to jump in on that, and if anybody else has, whether it's a topic, because there are a lot of topics out there. Let me just talk about affordable housing, childcare, diversity. I mean, there are many topics, possible recession that we might want to focus on. So either by topic or name of individual that you think would be a great speaker for our board meeting, I want you to think about it. But in advance of that, if anybody has some ideas, starting with Commissioner Partridge, let's get a great roster going. Okay, Steve, let us have it.
All right. Well, I threw 2 names out to Kathy last week, and Joe, that might rely on you on one. I thought your CEO would be great to get him on a Zoom, just talking about Capital One and the impact on the local economy. And 2, with the new administration, getting someone from the governor's office, maybe our Secretary of Commerce or our Secretary of Labor, to come and talk to us about sort of the priorities of the administration around economic development.
I think both are great suggestions, although I think we do have somebody from Cap One lined up in the fall, but but we can always have 2 Cap One speakers, especially if the CEO would like to join us.
I love that suggestion.
Yeah. Both.
Chairman Lang,
Yeah.
the other one I would suggest is maybe more topical based, but after the annual meeting or the retreat, excuse me, that we had, we broke out into several groups. And I know Alex and Commissioner Sabu and I have been working on the placemaking setting. So maybe it would behoove each one of the working groups to kind of get together and recommend someone that can really speak to what we're working on, because there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes that I think maybe we can bring to the light of day in terms of where we are in the placemaking group with both the county and the EDA. There seems to be a lot of work going on. I think the commissioners would find it very helpful and insightful.
Great, because that would really align with what we're doing strategically. With workforce, one of the ideas was also to bring in military transition, Mike, for example, because that is such a huge focus for us, supporting our military. So anybody else have any ideas right now? We can continue with this discussion, or you can email either me or James. James, did you have someone in mind?
I was going to say the same thing that Stephen did too, but I would think maybe even the governor himself, because I mean, he ran with a strong but a different opinion in some cases of his economic view, and clearly coming from the private sector and from one of our largest private, industry capital companies in the Mid-Atlantic area. It'd be interesting to hear maybe from him directly, because I would imagine his his proposals or his policies are going to be a big part of what the Secretary of Commerce's positions. So it'd be great to hear from him directly, potentially.
Okay, very good. Well, keep the ideas coming. I personally feel very strongly about childcare issues. There's a great report by McKinsey that comes out and has talked about what businesses should do, and maybe we could get that person to come talk to us, because it's having a very huge impact on workforce recruitment and retention. So, okay. All right, that concludes my report. So I will turn it over to our president and CEO, who's coming up on 3 years.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I can't believe it's been 3 years. I think that COVID created a time vortex, and it felt like 1.5 years or maybe 6 months. It felt very compressed, but it's been a great 3 years. And last week, we celebrated with the team. We actually had an event on Wednesday of last week where we all got together and celebrated really what has been a very, very good year for us. And you're going to hear that next month. But I'm so proud of what they've done. But I'm also I just enjoyed seeing them again. It was amazing. Everyone in a room, feeling like we were comfortable, and actually even played some games together. We had a couple of guys, help us with playing games. Actually, John Blair and Stephen both are very good at emceeing those things, and we really just had a lot of fun together. So. And I've recommended my staff to take some relaxation. A lot of them have not taken time. They have a lot of time stored up, and in the county, if you save up too much time, you can actually lose some of that time. Well, actually, it converts to sick time, from what I understand. But we've really been really focusing on just really celebrating all the good things that have happened. And with that, I'm just going to turn it right over to to Mike Batt to talk a little bit about what's going on in talent. Mike.
Thank you, Victor. Yeah, we'll go ahead and share some of the great success we had in FY22 from the talent side. If we go to the next slide, first and foremost, we ran the latest numbers this morning that really show the importance of this talent program, and also the impact that the BI team's doing. Because a couple of numbers just to note. For the month of June, last month, there were 73,000 jobs posted in Fairfax County alone. That was an 18% increase over the same time a year prior. But another stat that was really interesting is we've been seeing that Fairfax County is about in the high 40s percentage of the overall NOVA EDA job postings, and we're now, as of this month, are 53% of the jobs that are posted in Northern Virginia are sitting in Fairfax County. So amazing numbers, but that again just solidifies what we're doing is the right thing, and that we're investing in a lot of the right areas. So a couple of great success stories from FY22. The career fairs, we made some major impact in increasing our profile, where companies are now coming to us looking to participate in the career fairs. We had about 140 companies participate in last year's career fairs. So great success as we've walked throughout the year in our career fairs. We sponsored numerous organizations, again, with Women in Technology, 40 Plus DC, BDPA, Black Tech Association, and many others that really helped us, again, increase the profile and also add to our HR recruiter contacts. We now have over 1,000 contacts that we're engaged with and communicating with across our companies in Fairfax County, which is great. And then Rod, working with the BI teams, communications teams, DCI, and everybody, has done an amazing job in our veteran community and reaching out to them through the military career fairs. He and a number of us participated in 20 plus networking events with veteran organizations last year. And he's now an integral part of the Fort Belvoir Transition Assistance Program classes. He was at one today, where each and every month they're asking him to come speak as those military veterans in Fort Belvoir are transitioning out, which is great. And recently, another really exciting ask from the TAP office there at Fort Belvoir is they want us to participate with them in doing a monthly virtual career fair. And we have a new contract this year with our virtual solution, Premier Virtual, a veteran-owned company that we've shifted to, and it's unlimited licensing, unlimited use for everything. So we have the potential to do that. So some really neat things we're doing. But last year was hugely successful. And if we go to the next slide, you'll see how we did with website performance. And you know, I really want to put the plug in for the communications team. DCI did amazing work in really adjusting how we were how we were putting those digital ads out there and making sure that we modified where we could get the best performance and increase the conversion from those that are coming to the site. So we exceeded every single metric. A couple of points that I'll make here are hit 406,000 sessions last year. So what that means, we are now at over 800,000 sessions since we started. So we're going to hit that million mark this fiscal year, which is going to be really fun to celebrate. 1 million hits on our site in 3 years. We were up a couple of points over last year, which we set the number a little conservative because we weren't sure what was going to happen based on coming out of the COVID pandemic across the country, but we still exceeded the numbers and actually grew over last year. Total number of job views, again, we were up 18% over last year on the job views. And the total sessions from our top 10 target markets that we're trying to recruit more talent here, that had a slight decrease, even though we exceeded the goals that we set for it. But the really exciting point is that we exceeded the job views from those top markets. So people are looking at this and increasing the numbers from last year. We had about a 12% increase in folks looking at our site from outside in our target areas looking for new jobs, which is really exciting. Last slide I have for now is really we're hitting the ground running. Going into FY23, we're launching a marketing and advertising campaign to colleges and universities around the country. You can see the first one right there in the middle with FAMU, Florida A&M, and we're working with a national publications company to see how far we can expand that with our budget, focus on HBCUs and engineering, tech, STEM, business schools around the country. We already have 4 career fairs locked in. The museum's loving the partnership with us. They've already secured 2 dates with us in September and May of next year. So a lot's going on out of the gate, much more programming's in the works, and we're excited to see what FY23 holds. So thanks for the time, and I will turn it back to you, Victor.
Thank you so much, Mike. I got to say, it's really, really impressive. And there's guys, commissioners, there's more next month when you hear from business investment. You're going to be very impressed. It is really, the team is really hitting on all cylinders. I'm just going to go ahead and hand it right over to Anna, back from Finland. Welcome back, Anna. By the way, she has some great chocolate. So if you're ever in the office, she might let you have some.
Absolutely. Thank you, Victor, Chair Lang, commissioners. It's good to be back. I hated to miss the meeting last month. Victor said it was the best meeting ever. And I'm like, of course it was. The one meeting that I missed is the best meeting ever. So, but I heard Andrew had fun doing the report. So that's great. And he had some great things to report for you guys. What I did want to mention before I get started on our June numbers to wrap up the year is that I'm going to let Mike have today to report on all the FY 2022 stats on marketing, the talent program, for the year. And next month, you will hear the entire marketing metrics and outcomes for the year. And I've delved into that a little so far. And I can tell you, I have to call Alan because he did a phenomenal job the time that he had in FY 2022. And I think we've picked it up and taken it a little bit further even in the last 4 months. So I'm hoping you guys are going to be very pleased what you see next month. But we did have a very busy June. I know Victor shared with a lot of the events already at the last meeting, which was last week before last. I feel like it was yesterday. But Andrew, if you can go to the next slide. I wanted to share some media wins that we had in June. We started with some great coverage on a launch event for Mrs. Joe's Petite Eats in Tyson's in the Penn Fed building. It is a boutique, woman, veteran-owned minority company, just incredible, that Penn Fed is working with to kind of build the business up for her. And I can tell you, having that kind of an announcement and opening along with nodal exchange, a derivatives exchange expanding in Tyson's around the same time really shows the breadth of, diversity we have in our business space. And it also shows great collaboration among our larger employers with the small ones that really need support. And again, veterans, we're talking about what Mike talks about every day. That's a great base for us in the BI sphere as well. And talking about talent, you see the quote from the CEO of Nodal Exchange, chairman and CEO. He talks about all about talent. This is why they're in Fairfax County. We have top talent, quality education and schools. So I think that message is really getting out there, and it's super on top of mind for the media as well. And we got tons of coverage on this Nodal Exchange announcement in particular. As you can see here too, we had some great international success in the media as well. I'm going to delve into that a little bit more. I know Andrew shared with some of the international successes last month, and it continued this month. I know Victor told you guys about the U.S. Ambassadors event that FCEDA organized for Northern Virginia companies, and that alone got tons of media coverage, not only here in the United States, but also in India. So it's, these partnerships are really lifting up our brand abroad. And this is not it. We have Israel, Europe, UK to report on today as well, just in the month of June. We also had 2 huge wins in the regional media. We worked with Virginia Business, collaborating amongst our leadership here, as well as multiple companies over the past 2 months to do 2 stories, one on the talent initiative, which ran on June 28th, Need a Job, Fairfax Wants You, couldn't get a better marketing headline. And then another one that talks about the development boom that the Silver Line extension opening in Reston Herndon is bringing about. And that article, if you haven't seen it, I'm going to send it over to you because you really can see what Fairfax County in particular, not just Northern Virginia even, what we bring to the table for not only tech companies, but government contracting, small employers, as well as when it comes to amenities. So those 2 were huge wins, and we're making some strides in collaborating with the state on some of these things as well. So I heard you guys talk about those for speakers. So I think that's a really great idea. So here were just some headlines. We also featured the Amazon Fresh opening in Lorton, which got some great media coverage. We were featured in that, as well as the StarKist and Cornerstone's joint event in the community, which gave fabulous results as well. So Andrew, if you want to go to the next slide. Here are the results for June. We topped the numbers from May, so we were almost at a little over 3.5 million in earned media value, and about a little over 500,000 in impressions. So really good numbers to close out the year. We had over 600 placements, and again, those are all earned. So I think you will like the numbers that we're ending up with for fiscal year and the return on investment you see on our media outreach efforts. Again, huge kudos to DCI working with us to get national coverage. There are some good stories coming up in July and beyond. Next slide, please, Andrew. And talking about international, we did a lot of promotion on our digital platforms, and this I'm talking mainly earned coverage that we received and earned organic impressions. We had several events that we were highlighting. One in Israel in the beginning of the month that I wasn't sure if you guys covered that last time. It was the future of smart cities and secured infrastructure in Tel Aviv. got huge coverage here as well as in Israel on digital media. So huge kudos to our overseas reps who also worked on getting some media coverage there, which is, it's different from country to country. And I am still waiting on the results on that one. So stay tuned on that. We also had a couple of events that we covered in Europe, events in Germany and France. Our international team took a trip there, first time since COVID, which was amazing. And I got to tell you, our international reps overseas did do a great job on social media, LinkedIn and other platforms to really elevate our brand. Because as you know, companies really listen to those who they know, who their contacts are. So it's great for us to do it as an EDA, but it's even better when the actual contacts on the ground do it. So it multiplies the reach, and you'll love the reach once I show it to you. We also covered a 3-part series in the UK, Go to Market Global. It was a virtual event where we attracted UK-based companies to come to Fairfax County, and it focused on clean energy, government contracting, and topics such as those. So lots of stuff going on, let alone another thing in India. We did a post-India trip, press outreach in India. I know there was a trip in May that was done by our team to India, and that got huge coverage in India. So we're doing very well there in the Asia sphere. So I know our international team is hard at work on this, and they're super excited to get us more brand awareness. So next slide, if you don't mind, Andrew. And here are some of the new stats that we're starting to share with you. Last month, we already shared some of these with you. So these are website stats for our FCEDA website. This does not include talent, which Mike already shared with you, which we obviously blew the numbers out of the water, which is excellent. That's what we want to do. But what I got to tell you is that the number of website sessions were up 13% from May. In May, they were up 20% from April. So we are seeing incredible growth, and this is mostly organic growth and based on search engine optimization. So I want to thank DCI for doing a fabulous job in working with us. We also have some digital marketing campaigns that we're wrapping up in June, which I'm going to present the results from for business investment next month to you. That also has contributed. And as you can see, again, website users up almost nearly 20%. That's incredible growth. So we hope to keep that going. For social media platforms, we again saw growth in followers. We hit 7,000 for LinkedIn, which it was, I think when I started, it was close to 6,000. So we're growing exponentially there. Last month was a little bit slower, but we still had organic reach of over 35,000. So lots of activity there. And again, like I mentioned, we are going to be providing you a FY 2022 recap on all marketing communications for the agency next month, and I'm super excited to share those stats with you guys. Back to you, Victor.
Hey, Anna, real quick question.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, we were astounded when you had 1 month's growth
Yes.
on the website that much. That would be outstanding for a tech. A tech company, but to see several months of it now, and now it's continuing to compound. And you said a good chunk of it's SEO. Any understanding? I know this is kind of hard sometimes to pull out, but what are the top terms? Are people coming here for placemaking components? Are they searching? I know this is separate from the website for jobs too, but are they looking for jobs? What are the top terms that are bringing people to our site?
So that is the piece that we're going to talk in depth with you guys at the next meeting. We are looking at the top search terms and how we're performing. And I can tell you, we are increasingly performing better in those top search terms than not. So I don't want to, off the top of my head, to give you the wrong terms, but I want to give you a very much, more detailed explanation at next month's meeting. What I can also tell you is, part of this is, SEO, The other part is that we had the BI digital campaigns going, the marketing campaigns that you guys approved for us to do in the end of the fiscal year. And since, you know, there's more funding approved for this fiscal year, expect more of this to come, which is excellent. So thank you for that. But more to come, Vice Chair, quickly on that.
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your presentation, Anna. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Madam Chair. Madam Chair Lang.
Well, just once again, I want to express my appreciation, and I'll speak on behalf of the board for the outstanding work that Victor, you and your team have performed over this last year. And of course, we have great expectations for next year. So don't take too deep a breath. But you guys are on constant, you know, just staying on top of things and going beyond. And we really do appreciate it. And I'd also like to appreciate the commitment of the board members for your steadfast interest and commitment to what it is we're doing. It is a big team effort, so thank you very much to all of you. And we look forward to a great new year. And with that, I'm going to ask that we adjourn. And can we do that by consent, Mike Graff?
Certainly, Chair Lang. I think I would suggest you just ask if any commissioner objects to adjourning the meeting, and
Okay.
with no objection, the meeting would be adjourned.
Are there any objections? Great. So the meeting will be adjourned, and we'll see you all in August. Thank you very much,
Thanks,
everyone.